see the product as some other custom branding, not Zoho brand, right? So when it comes to the Zoho Analytics white label solution, we have two types of implementations in place, okay? I could say it's not just the white label solution. We call it as embedded analytics white label solution because the traction is more towards embedding into some custom applications, okay? So when it comes to the white label solution, there are, the embedded analytics white label solution, we are talking about two types of implementation. One is called embedded analytics, okay? So embedded analytics is nothing but, let's assume, the audience for the embedded analytics would be, obviously it's independent software vendors, okay? So if you take Zoho as a company, Zoho is an independent software vendor. We build softwares, we have different products. Similarly, there are a lot of companies out there who have their own product, who have their own business applications. Now, in this case, when I'm talking about the embedded analytics, I'm going to quickly show an example that, let's take this FinePick as a company who has their own CRM system. They deliver CRM system to their end users, similar to how Zoho built a CRM and delivering the application to the customers to use it, right? So similarly, let's assume that FinePick is a CRM system, and the CRM system is something that they are selling it to their end users. Now, in this CRM system, their users can come here, they can sign up for an account, and they can register and they can sign up for an account and they log in into it. And then once they sign up for an account, then they can log in inside the account using their credentials, right? So once they log in into their credentials, since it is a typical CRM, obviously what they will be able to see the different modules inside a CRM application, like leads, contacts, and everything. So let me quickly log in into this. Just a minute. So once the user log in into a CRM application, typically they will be able to access all the modules as like a typical CRM, like leads, modules, contacts, accounts, and different modules that you have, and you see here at the top. So let's assume that FinePick is an independent software vendor, a company who's using their own business application. In this example, I'm showing a CRM, but it could be any business applications or any software, cloud-based hosted softwares, okay? Now, when their users or when their customers log in into the application and they do all the activities within their application, when they come to the tab called reports or dashboards, they prefer to see some set of reports and dashboards in it, something like this. But of course, you see this seamlessly, they are accessing this dashboard, and the branding is completely under their brand called FinePick. Nowhere the Zoho name will be revealed. Okay, so, though this icon is Zoho CRM, but we just inserted it, so ignore that. It could be completely under their brand. Right? So this is the embedding model, basically. Okay. Now a user login into some CRM application, and when they open the dashboard tab or a reporting tab, they are able to see some embedded content, right? Now this is the first use case. Now the second use case is you want these users to create the report on their own. Now you have, or maybe it could be a same tab or something. It can be handled within that application. When the user come here and open the workspace, they will be able to see the Zoho Analytics interface inside it, but once again, the name will be completely custom branding. Now they can go ahead and create the report on their own, or they can go ahead and choose a module. They can build the report on their own based on their requirement. Okay. Now we are talking about two different use cases. So an independent software vendor has their own application where some user login into it and access some embedded content, or they can go ahead and create the report on their own, or they can access the entire workspace, but everything is under their brand and everything works seamlessly. Okay, and this concept is called embedded analytics. Okay, so let me tell you how exactly this embedded analytics works. Okay, this model is completely API driven. The very first point is the product will be completely white labeled, and the second point is this model is completely API driven. Okay, now we are talking about two different audience: named user who can go ahead and sign in into an account and create some reports. Let's say unnamed user who can just view the embedded report tailored for their reporting need, or maybe they are seeing their data set in specific. Right now, when it comes to this, we are going to handle the authentication in two different ways. Let me explain that very clearly. I'm talking about now. Let me explain this use case where I'm talking about the first user who log in into the account and who can access the entire workspace and create the report on their own. So how we can gel or how we can seamlessly integrate this embedded analytics application and Zoho Analytics application. So if this is not available for all the users, this is a different business model. When a user submit the embedded analytics request, all you need to do is you just need to go ahead and implement this. We need to at the back end, we need to enable it, and it will be enabled or implemented where a white label portal will be created under their brand. Okay, now using the single sign-on API, using the SSO or single sign-on API, when a user sign up for an account in their application, in this FinePick application, seamlessly a sign up API call will be sent to Zoho Analytics white label portal, and account will be created for that user. So it's API driven. We use the sign up API to seamlessly create an account when a user sign up for some third-party application. All right. Now, when the user log in into the account, we call the API sign in API and allow the user to sign in into Zoho Analytics rebranded portal also seamlessly while they are signing in or while they are logging in into their business application. So now when they log in into their business application, a browser session will be created. In the same browser session, Zoho Analytics rebranded embedded version also signed in seamlessly behind the scenes. You don't see anything here. Everything is API driven. Now, when the user come and access the tab called analytics or reports or whatever, you're embedding the rebranded URL. So you see that the URL itself has been rebranded here, right? The embedded rebranded white label portal is seamlessly embedded inside another application where the end user can come and create the report on their own, right? Now, this is the named user. So obviously, this white label customer or the white label, the independent software vendor who implemented this white label solution should buy license for this user because they have an account. They are logging into the account and they are accessing the entire workspace. So they are authenticated with their credentials and they are logging in and signing into the product and accessing the entire workspace. All right. So this is called single sign-on model. This is called the embedded analytics. The feature is called single sign-on, where the named user log in into an account and do all the activities. And this user, obviously behind the scenes, they have to subscribe or they have to buy a user license for this, okay, because they are providing a login access. So white label portal will be set it up to provide access to the white label portal. They will be providing license. They need to buy a license and then user license, and then add the user to the white label portal to get access to this workspace. All right. Now we are talking about the named user. Remember, there is another tab where you see some set of reports and dashboards embedded directly. And in this case, they are just viewers. They are not doing any report creation or anything, right? And of course, if you think about the SaaS-based business model, the pricing will be somewhere around like $10, $20 or something. So to provide view access to a user, this independent software cannot go ahead and buy $8 license from Zoho Analytics. Am I right? So what we did, we have an API called embedding API. So this embed API will dynamically generate the URL on request. So how this works, when a user just forget about the first part, the named user. This is a second user who don't need any report creation access, who will be just a viewer viewing some dashboards on a random basis. Now when this user log in into his CRM account or this third-party application, and when he open the tab called embedded analytics or something, then behind the scenes an API will be used. API request will be sent to Zoho Analytics white label portal. The API portal will respond you back with the dynamically private URL. Okay, and that private URL will be embedded inside an account. Okay, so you're dynamically sending an API call to generate the URL for a view, and that URL can be embedded inside an account. Now, one additional feature very important here, while you're making the API call, you can apply a filter criteria. So this independent software vendor will understand which user login into the account. So he will understand that we want to show only East region data or something to this user. So while they are sending this API call, they can apply a filter criteria that table name dot column name equal to East. So this user will be able to see filtered data set dynamically embedded inside their account. And that's not a named user. They don't need to buy a license for it. It's just the number of API calls. So this is a different business model altogether, right? So this is something that involved additional fee. The fee ranges based on the deals and requirements. So only the support team or pre-sales team will be able to reveal the pricing details. But I could say it's thousands of dollars per year. So obviously, in addition to the Zoho Analytics pricing plan, they need to pay additional fee for enabling this embedded analytics OEM version, and that will be involved in some thousands of dollars per year. Okay, now this is embedded analytics model. These are all big deals. So if you know any companies, I mean, like let's say you have some customers, or you're getting some requests from a customer who has their own software application, web-based software application, and you want to provide, they want to have a very powerful analytics module inside their application, then they need to go for this embedded analytics model. All right, fine. So when this comes to the embedded analytics model, this is how it works. The product rebranded, seamlessly work with an application using the single sign-on API, embedding API, and so on. Okay, we have another type of implementation is called white label portal model. So think about some consulting services. Okay, let's say we have a customer, or maybe you have a prospect who is a marketing company, okay, who takes care of marketing activities for their clients. Now, to provide reporting on their marketing activities, or how exactly the marketing division is performing for a company, they don't want to manually send the reports or generate the report and send it in third-party application name. They prefer to show that they have their own application to showcase everything. Okay, so in that case, they can opt for the white label portal from Zoho Analytics. So this is one of the example, the fine pick. This, now you see that the URL, the look and feel, the product itself is being completely rebranded, where the end user can sign in and access all the reports and dashboards or workspaces based on the permissions granted by super admin. Okay, but once again, there is some additional fee involved in the white labeling and rebranding application. But we are talking about audience who could be a consulting service, who could be a solution providers or anything, where they can deliver the insights to their customers in their own brand. Okay, so with that, I'm just ending up the white label part, the embedded analytics white labeled version of the product. And I'm going to quickly provide 5 minutes update on the product roadmap. It's just a 5 minutes update on what are all the roadmap, or what are all the features that we are going to take it up in the 2020. Now, I just want to clearly make a note that the information I'm talking about, the roadmap, or the information I'm going to share about the roadmap, is confidential. So please do not reveal, or do not take any screenshots, or do not share it outside. It's a confidential, only for the partner's knowledge. All right. So let me open another presentation. So let me stop the sharing and switch it. So this will be just like a 5-minute session. All right.